McFadden Industrial Hardware has everything you need for your next project. Open early at South Decatur and Russell. McFadden Industrial Hardware, your one-stop shop to get the job done. McFadden Industrial Hardware. Get in, get out, and get to work.
Hanging at the Golden Circle Sportsbook and Bar inside Treasure Island, it's Cofield Company.
Yep, T.I. Salerno on the scene. He's a comedian. Cofield up at Lotus Reno. Kenny Mayne, he's a comedian, you think? He's playing Kimmel's in Vegas on Monday. The great Kenny Mayne is up with Cofield Company. Kenny, how are you, sir?
The show's sold out. Thanks, guys. We're good.
Let's not talk any comedy. We don't need to. Is the show really sold out?
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
I know my wife is coming, and my friend Ron and some UNLV people, and then they'll probably just drag people off the street. Who knows? We'll find out. I will say, to their credit, and thank you guys for having me as well. I know they reached out. There's been good promotion for it, so hopefully people want to come and see. It's a little different show. We're showing a movie. It's not just me up there forever. Oh, wow. And I'm going to do about 30 minutes talking about my silly childhood that will set the table to watch my silly movie.
So is this kind of like a monologue, kind of like a Mike Tyson type thing where he goes up there and talks about his life and all that kind of stuff?
Essentially, we're going to start at age 3, my first childhood memory when I burned my thumb on my birthday cake. We take it all the way through age 11 when I broke my femur, which turns out to be a pretty funny story. So between then and then, I served in the Cub Scouts. Fell in love with my 3rd grade teacher. There's a lot of good moments.
Well, Kenny, I've actually done that room. I do comedy myself, so I was wondering, when you're doing a club like that for the first time or something like that, how do you prepare for it? Do you go? A lot of comics don't prepare at all. Some comics are super over prepared with every word. I mean, are you up there with a few ideas and then you start talking, or do you have it all mapped out in your head what you're going to say?
I think I have the stories. I mean, I know my life. 3, I did the candle. 4, I did a talent show. 5, I stole a candy bar. I know what I did, and my wife is right next to me. She can join in if you want her to. She's funnier than me, but she's been my coach. And yeah, I've been, since we made the deal to do this thing. It was just a silly idea over the holidays. I made a movie, and it's on Fubo Sports, and I thought I had concocted 20, 30 good minutes to lead to the movie and to make an hour type of show. And,
right.
I've been rehearsing in my head on my walks in the living room. I play for my dogs. I care.
I care.
We're talking to the legendary Kenny Mayne. Did you always, because you always were kind of the comic relief. I don't want to say that. Obviously you're a pro. Back, ESPN, Sports Center, all stuff. You were always super funny, the funniest guy on there. Did you ever want to do stand up back then or anything? Or did you even try?
I think I was afraid to. Now it's just desperation, really. I need something to do. So I'm going to give it a shot, whatever. I've been in front of audiences, for the upfronts and for banquets and award shows and whatnot. So that part, I don't think I should be all that freaked out. I just hope I keep my stories together.
Kenny Mayne is with us. 7:30 show, right? 7:30 at Kimmel's on Monday?
7:30. It's the number 1 spot. Most comics want the Monday 7:30, so somehow I was able to win that.
So Graig Salerno's with us. Graig, I've talked to Kenny a bunch of times about UNLV football, and I know you don't cover it as much as I do because I'm actually on the beat.
Sure.
So I wanted you to do kind of a fact finding with Kenny and the whole Randall Cunningham thing because I think it's a fascinating story, and I think you're going to have better questions than I am. So fire away.
You talking to me?
I'm asking the questions.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. I'm saying to you. So I'll start it out. Kenny,
okay.
talk about your relationship back in the day. How old you were, how old Randall was, and that whole kind of mix at UNLV football in the early 80s.
I'd say it's one of the most misreported things in sports journalism.
Yeah.
Because Randall's Randall, right? If you hear we're on the same team, everybody says Kenny backed up Randall when it's the reverse. I was second string. Sam King led the nation in passing yards. We beat BYU on the road. We were a pretty okay team that year. We had a couple weird losses, but it was Tony Knapp's last year. And then I was second string, having played the year before a little bit, but I ruined my ankle that year. And then Alan Reynolds from Buell, Idaho was next. Then Randall, the brother of Sam Cunningham. That was his claim to fame at the time, right?
Yeah.
And you could tell, he was going to be amazing. He could throw the ball 80 yards. He had all the talents in the world. He could have played right away, but Sam was there, and we already had a system going, and I think he would have played if he played. But he'll tell you himself, he knew he was going to be great. They were grooming him for good things later. But I always thought ultimately that he had redshirted, but he told me recently, no, he just played 3 years. Play. The first year he didn't play at all, and then he did what he did and went on to the NFL.
Yeah, and obviously Steve Stallworth, who's become a standard across the board in Las Vegas as a casino exec, he was in the mix in the program, and we haven't checked in with you because I generally get to talk to you for a couple minutes at some of the games you go to. You emceed that donut eating contest, I was a disaster in that.
Yeah, Steve, 5 donuts. Come on, man.
I beat the field.
That's an awful field.
Beat the field. Give me a little bit of credit.
All right.
But Kenny, let's talk about Dan Mullen. I mean, the rapidity or the rapidness with which this program has grown to the point where they're like, yeah, you know what? Barry Odom's making $175 a year. Let's double it. Go get Dan Mullen.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, they were one better game away from being in the top 12 for the playoff, right? They just missed. Yep. And each year it just, like Arroyo took it to a certain level. Odom took it to another level. And then Mullen, over there broadcasting college sports, like it was enough to interest him, right? And he has a good resume. I think it's going to be great. And I love that it just keeps graduating to a better and better place.
Talking to Kenny Mayne on Cofield Company. Do you think that now that Vegas, obviously the NIL, people cry about it and stuff like that, but it's actually helping Las Vegas. And I've lived here since 2003. The team's never been good. Do you think the team being good now is just going to exponentially grow? I mean, because, once you get guys in here, now you get guys from the SEC coming in here, it's going to be a destination city.
Well, I mean, it's impossible to predict at all because, like you said, they'll get some good players, and then, Alabama will come and raid the kitchen and offer them whatever they can
right.
offer. So everything has changed. It's look at it more like college basketball, right? There's a ton of players who are one and done or two and done, and now college football, one and done or two and done within college, right? They might see a better opportunity. And I don't know, the coaches have had free agency forever. I don't have a problem that the players have it. It's great that they can actually, make something off their talent. It's definitely a little weird getting used to it because you gotta pay attention to the roster. Even in UNLV's case, you had to pay attention to it in season, right? With Sluka leaving after 3 games.
Right.
So yeah, it's a new world.
And to Greg's point about the portal being an advantage for UNLV, when a program doesn't win, I think locally and regionally, people kind of know what the story is and are like, I don't want to go there. And then the way Odom built it and the way Mullen is, are like, hey, kids from Louisiana and Georgia and the middle of the country and Texas, it's kind of a clean slate. All they know is what's happening recently and the winning, so they don't have any of that stuff stuck in their heads.
Yeah, true enough. The past is the past, and the last couple seasons have been really good. Bowl games and almost in the top 12. So, yeah, there's a recency bias for everybody, right? They know the old blue bloods that you can usually count on, and now UNLV is this kind of cool new thing. And especially, because I was in the broadcasting department there, it's such a great destination for kids in that field as an opener. Obviously, hotel administration, the sciences are good. But if you want to cover sports or get into that, there isn't a sport Las Vegas doesn't have. Did I say that? I think I said it right. They have every sport. That's what I'm trying to get at. And it's such a good opportunity for kids to avail themselves of that.
Kenny Mayne's with us. He's doing stand-up / a show at Kimmel's on Monday, 7:30. Get your tickets. Get out there. See the UNLV alum. You're very familiar with the Seattle market, the Seahawks. What do you think of Pete Carroll? Still trucking along, 73, taking the Raiders job.
Oh, I'm thrilled for him. I don't think he wanted to go at all. They made it as nice as it could be to get rid of a guy, but he wasn't ready to leave. And I like our new coach, but I think Pete ain't done. And I think it's really cool that he's coming there. I thought he'd get an opportunity somewhere. He's a young 70 whatever. He goes and throws the ball in practice and does all his usual stuff. I'm wishing him great success, and I hope it turns out well.
I got to get your take on a couple of lighter stories, although we get very intense on this show about it. I don't know if you saw the claim by Boomer Esiason is now going at Tom Brady about his hair, and he's claiming that Tom Brady got a hair job done in Turkey. Is there anything wrong with that, though? You're on TV. Aren't you supposed to look awesome?
Well, it's funny you mention that because maybe 15 years ago, I did a story about Tom Brady's hair, and the premise was that Justin Bieber was mad at Tom Brady for ripping his look off. And you can Google it. We went to Justin Bieber concert. He was about 14, 15. He was just kind of coming to be a name. And we got Brady to play with the curling iron. And I don't know about the current story. I just know the one I did.
I just think Boomer's a little jealous. I'm not sure what he's jealous of. I think Boomer has a good head of hair, unless he's wearing a rug and we don't know about it.
Sorry to interrupt. I think Brady's gotten better and better and better. Day one, you're not going to be perfect. I'm talking about his announcing skills. He's so, intelligent about the game. It took a minute, doing TV is weird when you haven't done it. And, knowing when to come in, when to come out. And I thought his last game was really good. Like, I think he's taken on that role really well.
Yeah, Graig, who's over.
You know what? He's
TV
right.
12.
He's right. Honestly, he's right. The last game, the Eagles game he called, I actually thought he did a pretty good job. At the beginning of the year, I thought his personality was a little like Stone kind of ish. But no, he's right. He's gotten better.
I don't think he knows yet to be himself. I think if he's himself and not an announcer guy, that's going to be the best outcome. Kenny, we've got less than 30 left. Tell Vegas once again what's going on at Kimmel's on Monday.
The hottest show on the Las Vegas Strip, most controversial show, 7:30 at Kimmel's, and we appreciate the hospitality as always. All the people in Las Vegas have been good to me about putting the word out, and I hope some folks show up 7:30 on Monday.
Man, I hope you don't get arrested. Don't get too controversial, please. Tell your wife we appreciate her allowing you to spend a couple minutes with us. Have fun at dinner tonight.
All right. Thank you so much.
There he is.
It's an honor, man. Thank you.
Kenny Mayne. Kenny was actually very nice as the MC of that donut eating contest that I was part of. He did not mock and chide afterwards, but he knew we'd all underachieved.
The fun and shenanigans of the NFL's Pro Bowl games, live from Orlando, Florida, Sunday at noon on ESPN Radio Las